This is the story of how one of the world's leading professional services companies evolved.
We had to keep reinvesting and re-innovating and reinvigorating our services for a new world.
In the face of major challenges posed by the pressures of doing business in a digital world, Accenture completely reinvented itself.
Once we understood the environment was changing dramatically, we decided we needed new ways of thinking and new approaches.
Accenture's leaders pulled off an industry-defining pivot, thanks to a pioneering business strategy tailor-made for a new digital era. For many businesses, today's operating landscape is uncharted territory.
A lot of the management thinking that people have grown up with was born in an era where industry and market structures were more stable and more constant over time. What digital and technology-fueled disruption does is it changes industry and market rules quite dramatically.
Digital disruption is everywhere. No industry is immune. And though many business leaders know they need to harness its power, few know how.
When clients say to me, hey, we want to do a digital transformation, or we want a digital culture, I'm uncomfortable because those words are loose. But essentially what we're always talking about when we talk about digital is speed. The question is, how do you move fast?
This was the problem Accenture's leaders faced nearly a decade ago. They knew age-old, tried and tested methods would no longer work. A new tactic was needed.
We began by trying to understand where was future growth likely to be coming from. We conducted a large amount of research in several thousand companies to understand what was driving performance. Once we understood the environment was changing dramatically, we decided we needed new ways of thinking and new approaches.
And so the idea of the WISE pivot was born, a game-changing strategy that not only helped Accenture harness disruption, but their clients too. The concept of trapped value is where the WISE pivot starts.
At a very high level, trapped value is the difference between the potential value creation from modern innovation and the actual value creation from innovation that companies use.
Identifying the trapped value gap is a crucial first step for business leaders.
It shows up in 4 places. It shows up inside a corporation. So how can I apply innovation to improve my supply chain? It shows out in my industry. So my relationship with all my suppliers. It shows up with my customers. Could I engage my customers in a new way to help create value? And then finally, it shows up in all of society. And so that trapped value is across the entire spectrum, and leaders' job is to find it and figure out how to monetize it.
But recognizing the need to harness disruption is just the beginning. Execution is the next challenge.
When you look under the covers of every company, you can often divine 3 different phases of maturity. There are some products and services that a company delivers that are very near the end of their life cycle, and we call that the old. There are others that are delivering today's current profit streams, and we call that the now. And then there are those that are a glimmer in the eye that may explode one day, we call that the new. And our thesis is that if you're a C-level leader of a company, you have to worry about how to optimize the company's performance in the old, the now, and the new concurrently.
Investing wisely across all 3 stages requires a delicate balance and some bold leadership decisions. But get it right, and you unlock the capacity to innovate.
To pull off a WISE pivot, we believe that companies have to pull off 3 lower-level pivots. One is the financial pivot. So how do I move my money appropriately over time between my core and my new business? Second is the innovation pivot. How do I get my entire company to understand that innovation is the only way to protect myself against future disruption? And finally is the people pivot. This is about leadership and culture. It's about the augmented workforce, humans plus machines. How do we move our people from where we were once to where we need to be in the future?
The WISE pivot strategy is proven and battle-tested. But turning from constant disruption to continuous reinvention is not for the faint-hearted.
Our late chairman and CEO, Pierre Lantem, used to talk about being willing to stare the demon in the face. It takes CEO-level courage. Because to take on the vested interest, to challenge the orthodoxy, that does take some very bold decision-making.
Today's business landscape is defined by disruptive forces and rapid change. Thanks to the WISE pivot, organizations across all industries can now recognize disruption, harness it, and become engines of continuous innovation.